Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TTV Podcast, episode 323. I'm Meso.
I'm Eljay.
Yo, what up? I'm Ben.
I'm Prpl.
And I'm Phweff.
And hello, everybody, Phweff is back. Phweff.
For now.
And Prpl, we have two people back.
Hi.
Who?
Hello.
Oh my
Been
god.
gone for like a week.
No, it's been way longer.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't been on a podcast in ages.
she is
I
correct.
haven't noticed. No.
Wow,
Gosh.
thanks.
Yeah, let me go actually see when the last time you were on was. If someone can go ahead and check,
It's all because I talk to you all the time. That's why.
someone can check
Yeah.
the YouTube stream and make sure it's all Gucci.
Yashihiro.
Thank you. Awesome. But yeah, let me go check when the last time Prpl was on the podcast was, because I have a
While you
handy
check.
document.
How have you been, Phweff?
I've been good. Yeah, I've been good. Busy. Very busy. How about you guys?
We're
Good.
fine.
Also busy.
I'm asking you because the fans have noticed your absence, and they will probably be like, "Oh, Phweff, we miss you."
Oh,
So-
I thank you guys. I appreciate missing me.
All right. So
Oh,
the last episode that Prpl was on was episode 315, which was released on April 20th. And the last
Dang, almost
episode,
2 whole months.
around a month. So, yeah.
the last episode that Phweff was on was 311.
Oof. And
Oh.
what? It's like 4:20 now.
To put that in perspective for you, Phweff hasn't been on an episode since before Biocraft.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa,
Oh,
3
you're
whole
right.
months ago.
You are 100% right, actually. Yeah, because I remember it coming out and being like, wait, hold on.
4 months. 4 months. The episode released on
Is
January
this another-
26th.
Is this another we're not making Biocraft? And then it was an hour long. I was like, no. So I was just as shocked as everybody else when I found out that Biocraft was coming out.
Yeah, so Biocraft came out, right?
We
And,
made
It
Biocraft.
was pretty
See,
cool.
the thing is, I'm excited about that because we made it, but also I kind of forget that we do sometimes because it happens so fast.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of came and went. We still gotta finish like some music, you know.
Yes.
We still gotta
Yes.
get the.
Even
the
though I
hero
did
cover
some
put out,
I did like a
and,
one voice line for it. It was like I
2 voice lines. 2.
2 voice
we had
lines.
2
Two.
voice lines.
I worked
You
so
killed
hard.
my husband.
You killed my husband.
Wow, that sounded exactly just the line.
Yeah.
Wow, it's pretty good. You should do more voice acting with us, Phweff. That'd be great.
I'd love to, but I get so nervous.
We got so many projects coming along the way. We got
Why?
Yeah,
why-
project.
Yeah.
we just got a lot of
we,
stuff.
we do have some projects in the pipeline. The retired reviews are back.
We
at the
do,
very
yes.
least.
Here, I'm gonna name every single
Do not do
project
that.
that we're currently working
Don't
on.
do
We
that.
got
Please
Hero
don't.
Craft 2.
What?
What?
No.
We have
The bit is
We
dead.
have your
Ben.
project.
we have Bringing Back Bionicle: The Journey 2.
That's what I'm most excited for.
We have Disneyland.
Bird Friday.
Sticks and Stones. Off and On Again. And,
Excuse me?
and Module, the next generation of 3. Those are all the projects we have going on right now. Some pretty good stuff.
Shadow Hunter 85, aka Hunter in the chat, says
Don't-
top 10 reasons
don't
Risk
acknowledge
Runner
this.
is better than Zalo. Number 1, you're an idiot. Number 2,
Yeah,
that's not
alright!
true. Number 3, some machine gun will never be better than an assault rifle. Now carry on.
At first I was
Anyway.
like, why are you acknowledging him? But then it is you had us in the first half. Anyway, all right.
Alright.
Meso.
So in today's TTV podcast, we're going to do our yearly traditional walkthrough E3 2019, the video game expo every year, where companies gather to hold live press conferences and discuss the new suite of games in development for the next year to 2 years, or onwards if you're an idiot company who announces things way too early to create ethereal hype in a vacuum of nothing. So this year, it was actually...
Yeah, like Metroid Prime 4, dude. I hated when they announced that.
in essence, yeah. They announced it with a logo and no date, which caused it to get rebooted because they didn't have a solid development
Dude,
plan.
don't you just
So,
hate
yes.
when that happens? When you're just given a logo but no date?
Yes. Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 come to mind.
Biocraft. Oh wait, sorry.
So
The
this
couple
year,
girls come
it
to
was
mind.
wow. This year, it was a bit of a smaller show because Sony did not do a press conference, and EA did not do a press conference as
I'm
well.
telling you, man, if Sony
Thank
had something to show off, they probably
everything
would have
for
won this E3.
Yeah, I mean,
If they had anything.
EA did live streams, but they weren't like their new press conference. But they did show a few things off, and a few things they didn't show off, like Anthem, which is perpetually dead at this point.
I
They
mean,
didn't, they didn't show any DLC plans or update plans for Anthem. Just we're working on it. So
It's coming.
yeah, but we are going to talk about the big five, which is Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Square Enix, and Nintendo. We're going to start with Microsoft because love them or hate them, they did have the highest quantity of game announcements. And just a word to the wise, we're not going to talk about everything because number one, we're not all personally interested in everything, and number two, we just don't have enough time.
There's a
So
lot of games.
I've made like a bullet point highlight list of stuff that I just kind of want to cover briefly or lengthy depending. We're not going to talk about Devolver Digital other than they probably had the best and funniest conference. And go watch it if you haven't, because
But
it's
just
freaking
remember-
hilarious.
It's definitely quite vulgar, but it's hilarious.
Oh yes, yes, very vulgar, very violent, but very very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, nobody here is a stranger to vulgarity except
Yeah.
for you, LJ.
What?
How about
Okay.
Peel a car is?
Then
He's an innocent soul.
have-
It's for the audience.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Prpl.
Peel is kind of
Thank
weird,
you.
man. Like,
Ew.
shout out to Peel You're kind of weird, dude.
I know I am.
Like, this guy said Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a good movie.
Whoa, no.
Not doing
I
this.
specifically remember that.
I mean, I agree to a point, but
And now they're going to tear into pieces.
What, it's my birthday time
Wait.
to light my candles.
I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than Homecoming. Fight me.
Wait, hold up.
Now we're gonna
I
tear
don't
Meso
know.
to pieces.
Hang on a second.
I think I got Peel mixed up with a different dude.
Oh my god.
Oh no. You got the wrong guy.
Let me
Listen, I
find him.
said I enjoyed it more, not that it's like better objectively.
Alright.
Okay, so to
I'm
start
sorry,
with,
Peel.
then interrupt me whenever you find who it is.
Sorry. I found out who it really was. It was Prentice.
Oh, freaking pretty.
He's one of our moderators. For starters, thank you, Prentice, for taking the time
You
to
made
moderate.
that man.
the message
Oh, there it is. There
I-
it is.
I-
Peel just confirmed
I-
that he liked the Venom movie.
I did not make
So,
anyone
there-
a staff member. They were
He's a
all
pretty
they were all
guy.
hired when I was when I was
Peel's got that adrenaline in him. Venom.
Venom.
All right, let's go ahead and rock and roll.
Start off with Microsoft. We're going to begin with Obsidian's new game,
Wait.
The Outer Worlds.
What?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Fallout in
Microsoft
space.
came out with Outer Worlds, right? And that's kind of cool. It looks.
It did look cool.
I mean, look. Here's my thing on this game. So it's a cell shaded, like RPG, where you go around the world making choices, and like, isn't there some kind of wasteland with people or whatever? Like, it's Borderlands Fallout. That's all it is. It's like Fallout, but wrapped in a Borderlands skin with choice mechanics that are very reminiscent of other games like Mass Effect or whatever. And I mean, it seems good. It looks awesome. It's gonna fill that void for people who have been burned by Fallout. But I also don't necessarily think it's gonna do anything wildly new for the genre. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's gonna fall into very similar trappings. And already, like, the engine looks like straight out of Fallout. It's got the same kind of walk animations as Fallout, the same kind of gunplay as Fallout, the same ugly looking people as Fallout. So I wasn't particularly wowed, but that's not to say it's going to be a bad game. I'm sure it will be great.
Now, what has Obsidian done before again? Can you remind me?
Fallout New Vegas.
They were in Minecraft.
Ah.
Oh.
Oh,
Was
dude, I
they-
remember
they didn't make
Obsidian
the
in
best
Minecraft. Yeah, you had to like stick a gold pickaxe. Sorry, not pickaxe. You had to stick a gold sword to that
Still
stuff
wrong.
to even mine it.
So yeah, Wadden says it's by Obsidian. What did you expect, Meso? And yeah, exactly. I didn't really expect anything else, but I also didn't have high expectations. So this is what I got.
I just expect it to be better than the last Fallout. That's it.
Which it definitely will be.
Yeah, and that's not even much, you know.
Oh, that's not
It'll be
even
better
bad,
than 76, and it'll probably be better than 4 as well. So I think we'll be fine. Next
But the
up,
question is, can you romance people?
Oh, that's a really important question.
I
actually.
hope
That's really
not.
important.
Love is
I
I
doubt
hope
it.
you
Make or break.
you probably can. Like, I think you could do that in Fallout, right? Am I wrong?
You could in Fallout 4.
Ah, I see. Well, fingers crossed, because that does add a lot.
Dude, I hope you can romance people in Elder Scrolls 6
I'm sure you'll be able to.
because
It's like-
like I'm tired of installing mods.
You can marry people in Skyrim.
It's like you guys aren't even Bionicle fans. This disgusts me.
Dude, love
the lack
is,
of love in the
love
canon
always
has
been
made us
canon.
crazy.
Love has always been canon. If you don't believe it,
Love is
then
always
you're
canon.
just a Greg.
How wait. No, I can live with this.
Alright, next up is
Except not as
Cyberpunk
cool.
2077, the game from CD Projekt Red, which has been hyped up for many years as being their next thing. And this year they showed a pretty cool trailer with some beats in the story, a little bit of gameplay at the very end. It immediately got overshadowed by
Some
the man,
hobo.
myth, the legend. Some hobo walks out on the
Just some
stage.
guy. He just found his way there and he
Some
started
guy.
complimenting people.
I take back what I said earlier about Nintendo winning E3 because honestly, Keanu Reeves won E3. Not Microsoft,
Yeah.
not Nintendo, not Bethesda, none of those. Just Keanu Reeves. He won E3 just alone.
He had the best entrance ever, and like he's had a meme, two memes that have been stemmed from his appearance.
I love the check this out, and people have just been
this
like green screening the screen.
Dude, that man is such hype. Like, I want that guy to like be at my wedding or something. You
Are you
know?
gonna marry him?
No, I just want him to be
Wedding.
Who doesn't
Yeah,
want to
Everybody
marry
look at
Keanu?
Everybody look at the GIF that Shadowhunter posted.
Like, I want him to do the whole like speech thing about how like I'm so awesome and whatever, and then he goes, "Check this out," and then my wife just comes walking at the end of the aisle, and then he starts like screaming at everybody, like saying, "You're breathtaking! You're breathtaking! Everyone is breathtaking!"
You could see how much it took him back when someone was like, "You're breathtaking," and he was just like, "Whoa, no, you're breathtaking."
It was
He was totally hyped. I felt his hype, and everybody felt his hype, and it was great.
Yeah, it was a really good way to kind of get people in the mood for what they're.
Yeah, it was such a
It's
change of
awful.
pace, man. Everyone up there is like so boring. Like Phil Spencer's like, "Hey, man, you know we got
Hey, my name's
some really cool stuff."
We're gonna care
As-
about the
as
games.
you know,
We got some
Xbox
games.
always loves to deliver the best in gaming experience, which is why later this year we're gonna be bringing Halo to mobile. It's going to be amazing. Like that's what that
What,
guy
don't you guys
is.
have
He
phones?
says like the same thing
Listen.
every year.
Yeah, I mean, like I love Microsoft. I've
Yes.
always bought into the Xbox ecosystem. I like what they do, but they can't boast about games. They have like 3 franchises.
I know,
people
really.
like, and only one of which people really still like. Gears is going on way too long, and Forza is just
Dude, the new
driving
Gears
cars.
really does not look interesting to me.
No,
When they
it
showed
really
off the new
doesn't.
Gears, I was like, wow, this looks like a very generic. This looks like the stereotypical rated M game where you just got nothing but blood, screaming, and gore, and like nothing but violence.
Like it was
Everything.
like I was a massive fan of the Gears franchise, and I liked Gears 4, but like Gears 5, I'm just not interested. Like, I'm not interested in Kate's story.
I haven't really
don't
gotten
care.
into the Gears games, but I will say Gears 4 had a much better presentation when they
did.
announced it. I
Here's
mean,
the
they even
problem
showed
with
off
Gears.
the gameplay and everything.
Do
and
we
it
just
looked
want
really
to go on
nice.
and talk about Gears now? in that
Yeah,
case?
let's go ahead and talk about Gears. Gears is a weird
Now
franchise.
we're not talking about Gears anymore. That's all I had to
I
say.
feel like I've played most of the games with Phweff. All
Yeah,
the
we
second
literally
one.
played all of them.
I bought
didn't
Gears
we?
4 just to play it with Phweff. So.
No, I
The
remember
only-
those
the only
days.
one
You
we ever
guys left
played
me
was
alone
Gears
for a
2.
while.
And I think they're good. I think they definitely still hold up, but like story-wise, it's whatever. They have a reputation for being just like the dumb, like ridiculous,
super manly, like
stereotypical,
testosterone.
super manly third-person shooter game. And I
Yeah,
kind of agree that they feel like a relic of a time. I don't really care about like the tone so much as just the gameplay.
yeah.
it
To
feels
play
like-
as a fridge.
It feels like what birthed the third-person shooter genre. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like it's really evolved past that.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I don't know how they can be on Gears 5. Then again, you can say the same about Halo. So it's whatever. It's a preference.
Yeah, I don't know. It just the
You could totally
I
say the
don't
same
know.
about Halo. The only thing is, I personally care a little bit more about Halo, just
Mm-hmm.
because, yeah.
yeah, I don't know what it is like specifically. I think it's just the change in the main character, because the main character's Kate, and I didn't really like her in Gears 4. She just seemed to complain a lot. And I was like, I don't care for this character too much, and now she's the main character, and she's like,
But
I can go out on my own, like that. It's like
be the Locust Queen.
if you've like read anything into the Gears like lore, you know that you can't just go by yourself anywhere. It's just such a dangerous universe to live in. Like no one would ever, no Gears fan would want to live in post E-Day Sarah. Just no one. No
want
one.
to be on their own. They want to be independent.
Oh, well, everybody wants to be independent, but you've got to know that you've got to work together sometimes.
Keep
It's
the
like,
girls out of my Gears. Wasn't that like an actual controversy that people
I
were
really
mad?
hope not. I mean, like, I was really excited when they announced like female characters in Gears 3, because like it's nice to just play as a female character. Like, it's not the end of the world, like, but it's nice to just be able to have the option to play as a female character.
Right.
But
Yeah, like I'm not
it-
even bothered by that at all. But
No.
I think
I
I
mean, it makes
remember that there was a
sense.
controversy where I guess these hardcore super manly gamers are like, "Yo, why is there a chick in my Gears of War?
That's horrible.
I don't want no
It's-
chicks.
yeah,
I never.
I
heard
only
about
want
this controversy.
the other word." But
I only want big burly men that are the size of appliances fighting
yeah,
for me.
I'll look it up. It was like a while back that I.
Yeah,
heard of it.
I should imagine it was when they announced Gears 3's like female characters, which are all like pre-existing characters that have fought in the lore and like have been, there's stories about them fighting in the war, and there's no reason why
Before the
people
war.
should have been so
Before the
funny about
war.
it. Yeah.
So what
let
I'm
me-
gathering from
I'll
this,
go ahead
Phweff,
and look it up. But
what I'm gathering from this is you were not impressed by that trailer of Kate's face like merging with other faces and Billie Eilish play.
No,
what is up with Billie Eilish, whatever, just suddenly becoming
Billie
big?
Eyelash.
I don't know. People like the weird people, you know.
It's weird for me
like
because a friend of mine just recently showed me her, like her music, and then I swear to God, every day past that, I've heard something about her, or I've seen her on YouTube, or I've seen this and that, or I see her on Snapchat. I'm like, what is with this person?
Yeah. She's she's popular for the same reason Poppy got popular.
Okay, because of the weird stuff. Got it.
Essentially,
I mean,
yes.
I mean, like I do like, so like I like her stuff. Like I have a lot of friends of mine who are like, "Oh, she sucks." I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's just your."
No, I mean, like,
opinion. That
she's
doesn't
talented. It's just like when you watch her music videos, she's definitely
it's
going
definitely
for that
bizarre.
weird aesthetic. Vin, if you ever want, I'll be like freaked out. Watch her music video for the whatever that song come. Where when we fall
Which
asleep,
one?
where do we go?
Okay.
Watch that. But for now, we're gonna move on from Gears 5 to Ninja Theory's Bleeding Edge game. Cue it up, LJ.
Yeah, I know.
This
I
game
got it.
looks incredible. So this game is another it's another one of these 4v4 hero games, I believe. It's very similar to Overwatch, very similar to all of its Overwatch competitors and influences. It has a character named Makutu. That's a Maori character, so there's that. But honestly, the character designs are kind of weird. You can applaud them for trying to be original. They still fall into some trappings. Like there's a character that's literally Zarya.
Yeah.
But
Even with the pink hair and the tattoo above, like on the bicep.
but
It's-
on the whole, a lot of the designs are unique. So they are definitely
Yeah, most of
trying.
them are unique. The others, it's
Most of them
like,
are quite
I feel like
interesting.
we just saw them. I feel like we saw them in either Overwatch or Apex Legends.
Yeah, I mean it could be fun, depending on how it's delivered. I'll give it a shot. Because I don't know about the 4v4 hero genre. I feel a lot of people think it's oversaturated already. But for me, I haven't really played any games like it except Overwatch. So it hasn't
Yeah,
really become
we
oversaturated
know.
for me yet.
No, it's definitely become oversaturated for you. Because
In
you
what
no-
way?
Wow.
Because you no longer play Overwatch with us, and you hated Apex.
Is that because the 4v4 hero genre is oversaturated, or is that because Overwatch is phoned in, lazy, garbage trash?
Whoa.
Whoa! Hold on a minute.
I'm just saying, like,
Hold
None of those
on,
things are
hold
true
the
about
phone.
Overwatch. You just
I mean,
get
I get
bored
it going.
easily.
Yeah,
Overwatch is not delivered. Overwatch has not delivered a
but
significant gameplay evolution in the form of game modes, infrastructure,
So?
or anything. in,
Neither
like,
is
3 years.
Halo.
They rehash
Call
the
of
same
Duty.
live events every year with no
So?
like spark of originality.
Call of Duty shoot 'em
yeah,
out.
I don't understand. Like,
The
does it
base game is
necessarily
still
need that?
really fun and still really solid.
Yeah.
This is a
Anyway,
very
it's-
to me. I've
Not
always found this to
charging
be a
you for
very
anything
shallow
else.
and I don't know, basic level complaint that comes from people who put their expectations into the wrong thing. For Overwatch.
I don't think so. I think that for a live service game, you need varied content to keep players sustained.
I think you need a fun.
Playing-
You need that fun 30-second loop, and I think Overwatch delivers on that.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're not
I like
wrong.
I like that even to this day. Even though I like took a break from Overwatch because of all the changes they kept doing. Now, funny enough, I left Overwatch because it kept freaking changing.
That is true.
I
Balance
you know, I
patches
go
are
back
different.
to it nowadays, and I can still have fun with it. Sure, I get burnt out of it.
I mean, the gameplay is solid.
Which is what I was saying.
The gameplay
Yeah.
carried it for what, like a year and a half?
true.
And it's like, okay, we'll pass that.
I
point.
mean, I would say it still carries it, much like how, like Eljay was saying, even the Halo games, they play the same way, but they still carry themselves pretty well.
Halo has other things. Halo has a rich story. They have
Oh.
post launch support that's actually like substantial that goes beyond just maps.
Yeah, but for the most part, you're usually going back to Halo not for the story. You're going
Like,
back to play multiplayer.
Halo
like what we've
5.
been doing.
Halo 5 had a way better post launch DLC plan than Overwatch did, and I thought Halo 5 was trash.
Okay, I'm gonna agree to disagree there, but regardless, the game this
Point
game.
being, the genre has not gone stale. I just disagree with Overwatch's
As
DLC
much,
plan.
as much as Overwatch, I don't really play it that much anymore. I even refused to play it with Ben the other day. That was pretty depressing. I do see that.
Now I'm gonna cry.
Sorry. I just like I do.
No,
still,
you know what?
I,
No, you don't need to explain anything. I understand. You don't like me. That's what it is. That's all. It is. It's me.
That's
what-
100% the case.
I
Ooh.
knew it. I knew
Halo's
it.
had years of
Get
like
this woman off my
content,
ship.
books, and like other comics, other things that Overwatch should have, but it hasn't for some reason. They plan to make comics or either books, but we still haven't heard anything from that. I do
Yeah,
think
I
that
would
this
say that's
whole
definitely
issue
Overwatch's downfall.
with
There.
oh definitely
Story.
definitely like there's people that play for the lore. Like I got into Overwatch because I started watching lore videos And then I was like,
Right.
maybe I'll check this game out. And then I really enjoyed the gameplay. But yeah, the lore has so much potential there. It's just that they won't tap into it. They just keep bringing up more questions. Like every time there's an event, they bring up more questions than they answer. So it's like people just get fed up because they're like, I just want an answer for something. Like, why do you have to keep bringing up like more things?
Mm-hmm.
But
Because in
I
a game
agree.
when you play heroes in a non-canon setting, people grow attached to the characters because of their personalities and their story influences, and they play it for the interactions. So yeah, I understand that. Wadden says Overwatch doesn't even have a DLC plan. All the updates are free. I mean, like the maps, the heroes, and the events. Like it's pretty much got a pre-established rhythm. You know what the events are and when they are. You know that every 3-4 months there's a new hero. But only the big ones are accompanied by cinematics. Usually only at BlizzCon, and there'll be like a new map every now and then. But anyway, back to Bleeding Edge. It looks alright. I'll follow it, but it does look like a lot of people are comparing it to Battleborn, which was the failed Overwatch competitor.
It
And,
did remind me of Battleborn, actually.
It evoked similar vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, there is someone here who does like the game. At least the look of it to a degree.
Who?
Prpl, that was your cue.
What?
You
wow,
like
Purple's here?
the
Hi.
the Overwatch
Hey.
game, right?
Bleeding Edge.
Looks neat, I guess. Like, I don't hate it like you
Bleeding
guys do.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Fair. Okay.
Ben's
Ben
lagging
is-
hardcore.
Oh,
Okay, I thought it was just me.
Yeah, no, I was worried. It's like I'm due for an internet cutout at any moment now.
Yeah, me too.
Next game
oh, sorry.
on the list. There's Ori the Blind Forest, whatever the new one is. I think Will o' the Wisps. I
Yeah.
think it's called. It looked really, really impressive. I've never played an Ori game, but
Gorgeous
this one
game.
has
Ori-
some of the best
That's
art
what
They're
it's
very
style.
nice. They're very,
It was so
Yeah.
cool.
the new one looks pretty neat.
You were just running from horrifying giant spiders.
Very beautiful games.
That's a game you need to play on your new TV, Meso.
Oh god,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Like 120 hertz.
Or like any
Fight that
game.
spider in 4K.
No,
So
how about
that-
8K?
Oh yes, we'll get to that. Trust
Oh
me.
my god. Yeah. Yeah. we
Amazing
gotta
8K
hang on to that.
graphics, but then there's the Minecraft Dungeons, which is an old game that they announced, but we're seeing gameplay footage out for the first time.
Oh, they announced that before?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
what's
It's
this?
completely new to me.
So Minecraft Dungeons is
Oh.
the next Minecraft game, which literally is Minecraft Diablo. If you know what Diablo is, it's a like top-down-ish. It's like top-down at an angle looter game where you run around fighting enemies, collecting new artifacts to build your character and spec it out differently. And there's like stats and currency or whatever, and you play it with friends. This one is just that, but in a surprisingly visually gorgeous Minecraft skin, with some A+ lighting and environment design.
Dude, the
And-
game does actually look pretty good. Even
To
though it's
say I'm
basically, like,
excited
the
would be an
same graphics.
understatement, because I like Diablo style games. I really liked Marvel Heroes, which was very similar to this, and I also really like Minecraft. And I am going to be playing the heck out of this. And
Same,
I'm
man.
gonna say this right now. Biocraft 2 confirmed for Minecraft Dungeons.
Do not say that.
Oh my
What?
Don't say that.
We will be making it in
No, we-
Minecraft
what?
Dungeons.
No.
Biggest announcement of
What?
E3 right there.
No. Don't do this to us.
It'll be very easy, I'm sure.
He's gonna
But yeah, the
jinx it
environments
so
look
bad.
awesome.
Yeah.
All the like cool little weapons and stuff that they're introducing look awesome. The gameplay looks really fun. I love that it supports 4 players. So we're gonna have a good time with that. Like Sam and I were really excited watching that trailer. Oh, I'm sorry, my girlfriend Sam and I.
Ah,
There you
there
go.
you go.
I
There's
gotta follow
verification.
the gotta follow the trend. that Meso
VGS.
set.
MGH and
Yeah.
VGS.
So yeah, That's basically that. They also mentioned in like an interview that they have different classes, but you aren't tied to that class for the entire game. Your powers and abilities are tied to the gear you wear. So equipping a bow gives you like archer properties, for example. But if you grab heavy armor, it turns you into more of a tank. So it's adaptable on the fly. And you also like you can do magician things. It looks like they have, it's not like just straight up Minecraft in a Diablo skin. They obviously did have to streamline things, so you won't have everything that Minecraft does, but you can. They will have an enchantment system that's almost exactly the same as in Minecraft that can augment gear in fun ways to help like build your loadout.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's almost just a completely brand new game.
Yeah, so don't go into it expecting to like cheat and mine your way through the map. So yeah.
I mean,
Next
it looks fine. It looks
Yeah,
fine.
Eljay wasn't nearly as impressed as I was.
No, because to me it doesn't strike me as Minecraft to be a Minecraft game. It strikes me as a game that looks like Minecraft. Like maybe I need to play it first. And it doesn't even look entirely like Minecraft. Like this picture that you posted, Meso, a lot of the textures are not shared between the game.
Yeah,
that's what I really like about it.
So I don't know.
That it actually looks very different from Minecraft in some ways.
I'll need to actually see more of it, or maybe even just play it. But I'm not super on board yet. But
honestly, LJ, I think you and I would have a fun time playing this.
oh, I'm sure. It reminds me a lot of
let's get it.
Magica. If anyone remembers that game.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
very
Magica.
similar.
Yeah, I hated that game, but this one looks way better.
You hated the game. We tried to corral Meso into it with a crowbar, and he just wouldn't.
I had a bad computer at that time.
Oh, dude, you have a
wanna do
good
it if I
computer
try.
now. We should try Magica again.
Nah.
He's not gonna do that.
Nah.
It's
Wow.
It's not a straightforward first-person shooter. No, I'm kidding.
My God. I've just been called a filthy casual.
You
Come
are
back-
kind of. I mean, you
come
still play
back.
Destiny.
Come back to me when you play Dark Souls, Eljay.
Oh my gosh, there are other games
yeah,
that are hard and aren't
Them
Dark
fighting
Souls.
words.
I
They're
didn't
not.
say it just because it was hard, but it's not a first-person freaking shooter.
Sorry, a
You know
third-person
what, Meso?
shooter.
You're fake.
All right.
All right. Next up, there's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is a single-player Star Wars game developed by Respawn and part of EA's like corporate shill gameplay lineup. I don't know. This one might be better because there's no microtransaction loot boxes. It's a single-player only game. Opportunities to shill will be minimal. Probably limited. Wow. Probably limited to just character skins, if I had to guess.
Probably laminated.
Probably laminated. Gameplay-wise, it did look pretty cool, I will admit. It's got a lot of high-octane action, a lot of cool lightsaber combat, platforming sections where you can, like, scale
It reminds
walls.
me of like a modern day. What's it called? What was that game where you play as like Darth Vader's apprentice?
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. There it is.
Yeah. Feels like a better, more evolved version of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, it did look pretty impressive. I feel like I'd be more hyped for it if I liked Star Wars more. But
Yeah.
I'll probably check it out. Like I'm not really super into Star Wars,
Same.
but I do think that Star Wars fans are due for a good game after the battle.
Yeah, they are.
fiasco.
After all the Battlefront fiasco that happened, they do deserve like a game that just doesn't try
Won't
and
make them wanna rip
bleed
their
you with
hair out.
money. Yeah.
So fingers crossed it turns out well. Then we have the Blair Witch game, which was bizarre.
Oh, that was weird. Yeah.
And it was really, really weird. It's basically like you're walking in a forest and stuff's happening and the person dies and they fall on the ground and their camera shows like the start of the game, basically saying that yeah, it's gonna be found footage of a kind is essentially what they were implying.
So like Outlast.
Yeah, so similar to that,
Yeah.
and
Which
which
is-
works.
Yeah, I mean, it makes
Blair
sense
Witch.
too, given the premise. It's Blair Witch.
Yeah, the
Blair
movie
Witch
is
Project
found
movie
footage.
was a found footage movie.
It's
So.
just a bit of
Isn't
an
that-
odd game.
Isn't that the movie that set off the whole found footage?
Honestly, I
thing?
think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that came out, and then we had a bunch of other stuff like
Yeah,
I
and then
think
there was
Wreck came out
Cloverfield.
after, and Cloverfield, and
Yeah.
Quarantine, and some other stuff.
Yeah. It looked impressive from the cinematic they showed. I think there were bits of gameplay sprinkled in. It kind of threw me for a loop because I wasn't expecting that. But I mean, hey, found footage game. I never played Outlast. Could be fun. Could be a fun little take on
Terrifying
the
game.
horror
Be some
genre.
fun stuff, you know.
I mean, I value things like that are horror games nowadays a lot more than what they're doing oftentimes. Just zombies. Zombie time.
Don't get me started.
But Vin, we're gonna
Yeah.
skip to State of Decay, which I think was the game that made you annoyed at the zombie train.
It's
State of Decay 2 Heartland DLC. What'd you think of that?
okay, Ben. I totally
Very
understand you.
uninterested. Oh, thank you, Prpl. But yeah,
Well,
totally
why do you not
uninterested.
like zombie games?
I'm just tired of them. I'm tired of them. Every
Same.
freaking year, there's like, oh, guess what? New zombie thing's coming
Kill
out.
zombie.
Oh my god, I'm done with the zombies being in games. I'm done with the zombies being in movies. I feel like almost everything involving zombies has been done. I'm tired of the whole, oh, but they're not really zombies. They're just infected. Like, I hate that trope now because it's so overused.
I'm gonna make a zombie
Done.
comic just out of spite.
Well, if you do it, I'm gonna like it.
Aww.
Ah. But no, like every other thing it's zombies, and I hate it. Like last year, I was kind of excited because they announced, or was it they showed gameplay for what was that game that came out this year?
Oh, I
For the
think I know which
PS4.
one you mean.
Days Gone.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
saw
Yeah, I
gameplay
noticed
for
that.
that, and I was like, oh, this looks neat. It's like open world-ish, and you know you can like lead zombie hordes into camps and stuff, and you know it looked like there's some creative ways that they went about incorporating zombies into the gameplay. But then the game came out, and by that point I was uninterested, and I didn't hear anything interesting about it. Reviews were weak, so I was like, all right, well, yeah. And then E3 comes up, and oh, guess what? More zombie stuff. State of Decay.
More
Oh, I'm like,
zombies, yeah.
I'm just-
zombie time. No, I mean, like, I feel
it's
pretty good about
boring, and it feels
myself.
like a cop out.
The only zombie game I've ever played is Call of Duty. So I've dodged the oversaturation on that one a little bit. It just doesn't interest me.
I'm just tired of hearing it. I'm just tired of every game coming out and be like, oh, hey, it's a zombie game. Like, wow, cool.
Yeah, I understand that. I
It
just
feels like a
understand,
huge cop out because
It was
they're...
a... Sorry, you continue.
No, you continue.
No, you continue.
No, you continue.
No, you're breathtaking.
I want to hear
You're
you more.
breathtaking.
No,
No.
what were you gonna say?
Something probably rubbish now.
Aw.
Dang. Now we both forgot what we were gonna say.
Oh no.
Well done, fellas.
Oh.
Zombies suck. That's the.
Oh, that's what I
Zombies
was gonna say.
Fantastic.
Oh, do you know what's funny? I remember what I was gonna say too. So it feels like a cop out for like both gameplay and story purposes. It's like, oh, what's the story about? Yeah, apocalypse, zombie apocalypse. Who are the villains? Oh, you know, zombies. They're just. Do they need development? No, they're just zombies. It's like, who cares?
Yeah. Like I remember it was a massive thing like a couple years ago where like everything's coming out and it was zombies, and they're still doing that, and it's like I really don't care anymore. Like like you said, they've done almost everything you can possibly do for zombies. Like it's just I've become very annoyed with it and sick of it. Like
Some of the best zombie games that have been came out a long time ago. Like if you want a good zombie shooter, you can play Left 4 Dead 1 or 2, or you can play what are the Call of Duty games that feature zombies, like Black Ops 1 or 2, and those came out like a million years ago. So why do we need more zombie games like this? Or if you want an infected game where they're not actually zombies, you can play Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Or you can play like the Walking Dead Telltale games. Boom.
Yeah.
You play any of those games that I just listed, you got the whole zombie game experience. You don't need anything else.
Yeah. All right. So
Or you
next-
could play Zombies Ate My Neighbor for Super Nintendo. Anyway.
You could play that, yes. This is true. So next up, I'm just gonna do like a few of the rapid fire smaller stuff. Microsoft acquired Double Fine, the people who made Psychonauts 2. If that like interests anyone, it probably means they will have more funding. They'll have more, money to be able to put towards their games. Maybe see more frequent releases. Who knows? They showed a trailer for Psychonauts 2. It looked weird AF. They announced I guess they already announced the new Battletoads. They showed gameplay footage for the new Battletoads, and it looked bizarre. It
I
had a
feel
really
bad
ugly
for
art style.
GameStops everywhere because now they're gonna have a bunch of phone calls about it, and it's gonna be legit. They're gonna have to actually give a proper answer.
So for the meme and for fans of that series, I'm glad. The actual game looked pretty trash, not gonna lie. Microsoft Flight Simulators returning in glorious HD graphics, and that actually did look pretty impressive. A flight simulator with photorealism does seem like a pretty appealing thing.
I did not catch that. I gotta tell a friend about that.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And then, Eljay, this is what you're most excited for, I know. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition in 4K.
Yeah. I'm super stoked, and you're super not.
Aren't you ready to buy it again in 4K?
No, of course I'm freaking not. I'm not gonna buy freaking... I already have Age of Empires 2 HD Edition. I'm not gonna buy another Age of Empires, and you're not gonna buy any more Age of Empires.
4K!
I don't care if it's 4K. I don't think I've even laid eyes on a 4K TV screen or computer screen.
I'm gonna
You've
buy
never
it
been to
in
Best
4K.
Buy?
I haven't been to a Best Buy in like 5 years. Wait.
Dang.
Did we?
That's not true.
Yeah. Yep.
We went
Nope, I'm
at
wrong.
Brick Fair.
Flip yeah!
Yep. It just occurred to me. I was. Gosh dang.
I gotcha.
Does that mean we have to go to a Best Buy this year?
Yes, it does.
Okay, fine.
We're going to Best Buy.
So yeah, I have not been to a Best Buy since 2016.
Fair enough. I
You
forget that
haven't
was
been
fun.
to a Best Buy since we went?
Yeah.
That is
no.
what he said, yeah.
I have
You're
no
a
reason
weird
to.
guy.
I can't
man.
remember what
Then
we went
again,
to go get.
I don't really go to
That's the
Best Buy
capture
either.
card, I believe. We were trying to record Until Dawn, which we did do, and it was our funniest thing ever, and then we
Oh, it was
lost all
so
the footage.
good. Oh no.
Yeah,
Rip.
Yep, it feels bad. Our Until Dawn Let's Play.
we didn't really have a good method of storing that.
Well,
No.
the I don't know what really happened. All I know is that we're not going to be able to replicate it because someone's a little chicken. Haley.
Yeah, we want to do another one this year and have Haley play it.
Wait,
because
Haley
she's
can't
afraid of
handle
horror
like
games.
horror stuff? Are you serious?
No, she can't.
She
that's
handles it
okay.
about as well as she handles pepperoni.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay,
she's-
so she's basically in the same boat as my girlfriend Sam.
She
Amazing.
can't be like as scared as me when I was playing PT, right?
No, it's worse.
It's way worse.
Really? I almost
you,
had
you handled
fainted.
PT like a champ.
Not only did you
I-
handle
I-
PT
you
well,
know what?
You did. If it wasn't for me like messing with you, you probably could have completed it.
Yeah.
Meso.
okay, at that point, if Haley does play it, Meso, you're on the other end of the couch from her. You're just
Oh, I'm gonna
you're
mess with
nowhere
her,
near her for that.
Oh yeah,
Screw
you
you,
messed with me as well then. You like touched my shoulder while I was playing it. I was like, ah!
You and Veg, you stay far away.
No. This is part of the experience.
No.
Haley's overcoming horror slightly. She was freaked out by Jaws.
What?
What?
Oh, come on.
Are you
It's
kidding
like
me?
it's tenseness that she doesn't like.
Also, any kind of scariness at all.
Yeah.
But I'm
Prpl,
breaking her from it slowly but
least-
surely.
Are you better with horror games and movies and stuff, Prpl?
I'm gonna say yes so you guys don't like personally attack me.
Fair enough. Okay.
Aw.
Well, I mean,
Wow,
no, we
so
we
really
know
you're
you
just
are.
a big chicken. You're a big chicken.
You watched that one from a few weeks ago, and you handled it fine. So obviously you're better than Haley and Sam in that regard.
Yeah, you're like the best. You're the
Horror
best,
games,
you know, of like, you know,
I'm
if, there,
best
if you
girl.
put like, if you put Phweff and Haley next to you, and maybe Var, you're the best of them all.
Maybe Var.
Wow. Maybe not Var, but
No, you're totally. Look, Var's not here, but you are.
Ooh, dang.
What? This isn't a horror
Anyway.
podcast, though.
Next game was Wasteland 3, and I'm gonna be totally honest. I didn't even know there were Wasteland 1 and 2. Does anyone know what those are?
No. Dude, I have zero clue as to what.
This trailer
that
was all
is.
about Colorado Springs. Come to Colorado
that one.
Springs for fun. And it
Okay,
was
nobody
really-
goes to Colorado Springs for fun.
It was a really
Okay.
well cut, funny trailer, but I don't know what it is.
Wasteland
Say
is the
Colorado,
precursor to
I'm a
Fallout,
giraffe.
says Diggy.
They were basically the reason why Fallout got made. Got it.
Okay, got it.
I
So that's
appreciate
coming
you,
back.
Phweff.
That's cool and all.
In the wake of Fallout's fall from glory, its predecessor returns to take all the glory. Makes sense.
That's
You
funny.
said glory twice in that
15
sentence.
times the detail.
Glory. 15 times.
15 times the detail.
Oh my god. All right. Next up, we have Lego Star Wars, the real complete. I swear this is complete. The end
Dude,
Skywalker
that-
saga.
Okay, I'm actually super hyped for that because I kid you not, a day or two before, I was playing Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 on my Switch, and I was having some fun with it. I was like, man, it's been a while since I played some Lego games. They should make a new Star Wars. Man, I miss the Star Wars games. And I started looking up on the internet, see if there were any announcements. There was nothing. And then days later, E3 happens and they announce it. I'm like, oh my god. Oh,
Called it.
I called it. But
It was
also,
really good.
it's actually happening. And they're going to incorporate all of the mainline movies. Oh,
It's really, really cool. I'm glad that they're doing it, and yeah, I hope it's a lot of fun. I might check it out.
I really hope they drop the voice acting. And everything, 'cause that
I don't know.
Killed it.
Yeah, I
hope
like
it goes
the
back to
non-verbal
visual
humor in
Yeah.
Lego Star Wars. Yeah. Or Lego most things, yeah.
Yeah, I just because that's one thing I don't like about Marvel Superheroes 2 is they rely a lot on like really cheesy jokes and stuff. There's not a lot of visual humor. There's nothing like too what was it? Nothing too clever.
You okay, Phweff?
My
Game's
my
fun.
a bottle of Beppis popped and it
Your big bottle of Beppis. Like, what?
my bottle of Beppis
That's the
popped.
title.
Bottle
To do it, 23, the big bottle of Beppin.
Beppis bomb.
I don't know how to spell that, so I'll let someone else do it.
Oh, that was breathtaking.
No, you're breathtaking.
No,
Okay.
you're breathtaking.
Dude, Meso,
Oh,
Yes.
how long are we gonna keep this up, man? We're only barely getting through Microsoft. Are you,
Well, I mean,
are
like,
you still gonna
there's-
talk about everything else?
The others are kind of like fluff, but you'll see when we get there.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
but this has like one thing.
I haven't
you
put
a
a.
little bit.
I have not put a.
You're up
image
for an
up in a
image.
while.
12 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they announced this game 12 minutes, which was very, very fascinating. It was one of my top 3 from Microsoft, easy. And it's basically this top-down kind of a game about a husband and a wife who are trapped in a time loop, and she has like this announcement. She's like, "Oh, she's gonna say that she's pregnant or whatever," and the guy's like, "Yeah, I know, but listen, there's a dude who's gonna come through in just a minute, and he's gonna try to attack both of us. And I need you to tell me what happened. He says you killed your father." And she's like, "What? How did you know this?" And then the guy comes in, and I think he gets knocked out, and then it resets the loop, and he tries again.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
this game seems like really intense and like almost claustrophobic because of the small apartment that they live in, and really intense and really spooky and very mysterious, and it just looks generally cool. I will definitely be checking it out. I'm not sure who the developer is. It says, I think it's made by one dude, Luis Antonio.
Looks really interesting.
So it's a new dude entering the fray. So that's
Nice.
that's definitely one of the things that was best in show for me. We already talked about Gears 5. They announced the new Xbox Elite controller. If you want to pay $180 for a controller, that's an option for you. They announced the
It did
Forza
look
Horizon.
nice, but
It did look nice. The Forza Horizon Lego DLC that we all freaked out about. Speed Champions crossover on the big stage.
Okay, yeah, that was actually pretty nutty.
We lost our minds. It was really, really, really good. I see a lot of people critiquing it for being stupid. Those people just don't know the glory that is Lego. And it's not just Lego cars, there's Lego maps.
Those people just don't know what fun is.
I was just about to say, it's like, come on. It looks like
There's freaking
fun.
Lego racetracks with stuff you can knock down. How could you not like
Yeah,
that?
I was like, oh, it's stupid, it's childish, it's obsolete because I am
You're
adult
childish.
and I think like adult. It's like,
They
okay,
rolled out a
Mr.
freaking
Mr.
Lego
Adult.
car on stage. It was great.
Make no
Huh.
mistake, it's not enough to get me to play it. However, it does look really good.
If the game's ever on sale for like $5 to $10, I'll buy it just for the Lego DLC.
I'll do it. I'll probably do that.
Would you have to
high
buy the
definition.
DLC separate though?
Depends on the price. And if it's a Game of the Year edition. But yeah, it's a good point. Either way, it was a really good announcement. It's on Game Pass? Really, Leah?
You bet your sweet bippy it is.
What?
Alright, moving right along. Next up was Borderlands 3. They showed another trailer. It looks just as impressive. That dude, what's his name, LJ?
Dude, Borderlands
guy was an
3
RVB.
Oh, yeah, son of a biscuit, dude. ProZD.
ProZD on Twitter, Sungwon Cho, I think his name
Oh,
is.
Yes,
that guy's
Sun One.
He's
There we go.
He's voicing the main villain in Borderlands 3, which is
Oh,
gonna be
that's
great.
awesome.
Oh wait, no, not the main villain. Sorry, I'm wrong. Don't call me out.
Commander
He's voicing
Fist,
one of the
I've
characters.
poisoned the water so
He's
far.
voicing Flack. I thought he was the main villain. He's voicing one of the playable characters, which is even better. So that's gonna be cool. And I mean, look, I'm down for Borderlands 3 at this point. It's been many years since we last played Borderlands 2. This one
Yeah.
I
looks
have
quite good.
Borderlands 2 on Steam if you want to play, Meso.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Meso has enough copies of Borderlands 2.
I think I bought it for Steam.
Can we play,
Maybe if I actually did buy it, and I'm not wrong.
please?
Maybe.
Aw.
So anyway, next up we have
Don't reject me.
Elden Ring.
Elden
The
Ring.
From Software game by George R.R. Martin. I really liked the trailer. I thought it was cool, but I see a lot of people leveraging like critiques against its presentation
Trailer was very
for being
boring.
kind of generic or rip-off-ish, and I don't disagree. But I'm a sucker for From Software games. And
I didn't even watch the whole trailer because like I started watching it and was like, oh, this is kind of like Dark Souls. I like it, and then the guy just kept talking, and I was just like,
Shut up!
It was
It
just
wasn't a very
very
memorable
like
one.
generic speech, like, and the
The
visuals
ring
were so
was
slow.
destroyed.
No, I was just kind of like, oh, I'm so bored. I don't want to watch the rest of this.
But
It's
Phweff, it's the Elden Ring.
I really want it to be good
Elden
because
Ring.
like George R. R. Martin is awesome and Miyazaki is awesome and I want the
Dude,
game
George
to
R.R. Martin is
especially with
not awesome.
He's pretty awesome.
he is. He's,
No,
he's very
not.
he's
He
an
can't
amazing
even
writer.
finish. He can't even finish the last couple books of Game of Thrones. Like, no,
I mean, yeah, but
'Cause
he's
he's
still
lazy.
a good writer
he's
though.
lazy.
Yeah, Game of Thrones became popular because of his
The
quality
books are
writing
really good.
and quality characters. If anything, this means we might finally get a From Software game with an actual coherent plot with characters.
Unless he like only writes half the story.
or if he
Again.
just crafted the world. Yeah, you're right, but we'll see.
Or he only crafted half the half the world.
Yeah.
Why you gotta be like this?
So that's the
'Cause
game
I'm
to
still
look out
salty
for.
about George R. R. Martin.
And then finally, the last game we shall talk about for Microsoft is
Microsoft.
the big one, Halo Infinite. But before we talk about that, we'll mention
Halo is
how they
Microsoft?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I
man,
wasn't
was
sure.
about to say.
I wasn't
You
sure.
Purple.
I mean, come on, you didn't know that Keanu Reeves was. Wait, no, it wasn't you. Wait, was it you? Yeah.
It was me.
Okay,
And
you
Haley.
and Haley didn't know that Keanu Reeves was in the Matrix, so it's
I
a bit.
didn't know
I've
either.
never seen the
You
Matrix.
guys didn't know that? Oh my
Gosh,
god.
dang.
I
Okay,
didn't
Meso,
watch
you have no
Matrix.
excuse. I've been bugging you for years to watch that movie.
Hi.
I
So
actually
we'll,
just
we'll
watched
talk
it again
about
recently. It's still
we'll talk
good.
about how they segued into Infinite first with the discussion about their new console, As of yet untitled, they're referring to it as a Project Scarlet, which will launch in the winter, fall next year. Now,
Interesting.
they touted a lot of buzzwords in this conference. They talked about the cloud. They talked about game streaming via the Microsoft X Cloud. They talked about how it's backwards compatible with all gens of Xbox, which is pretty cool. They highlighted, across 4 generations, which I do enjoy. How Halo is going to be a launch title. But, the thing that really got me was they were touting... I forget if they mentioned actually in the conference or not, but the day of, we got some leaked specs that matched up quite well with the press conference, so I'm inclined to believe them, talking about how they are aiming for 8K. They were like, the Project Scarlet is capable of variable frame rates up to 120 FPS and 8K visuals, and I'm just kind of sitting here it's good that they're making a console powerful enough to handle these things, because it means that realistically games on the whole will be able to look good and not have to push the console to the limit to achieve what they're trying to do, if that makes any sense. If that's their cap, it shouldn't be hard to hit below that cap. At the same time, who in their right mind, even in the next 10 years, is going to have 8K televisions? If those even exist.
I can see it, but...
If those even exist.
That's it's pretty crazy. I doubt that.
At what point will the human
people
eye
are
just
barely getting 4K TVs? And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
What, 8K? That's what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, and I know that doesn't mean that they're aiming for that. That doesn't mean they're actually going to hit that for everyone. It's just it sets an expectation. When you say 8K, 120 FPS, I'm like, okay, if every game released on this console doesn't have 4K 60 FPS, then I'm going to question what you're doing, if this is what it's capable of. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm curious, if this new console will be able to run something that powerful, because I don't know. I've heard particular consoles they can barely run particular games at a high quality.
Yeah.
So I
obviously
doubt...
it comes down to individual optimization. It's now created this ludicrously lofty expectation. So I don't know. We'll see.
What are the Ks and why are there 8 of them?
Prpl asking the real questions.
Holy
So
crap.
they segued very nicely from that into Infinite, which is going to be a launch title for the Scarlet, but also still be on Xbox One, but also be on PC. So it's a cross-gen PC game.
Which is good.
Here's the thing about Infinite. I really expected to talk about it at length, but I honestly don't have much to say.
Yeah.
Here's why I'm kind of whelmed by it. It was a very good trailer. It had heart, it had emotion, it had fancy graphics, very clean, a return to classic Halo art style, a tone of mystery, really good music. It was a good trailer. But all those things I already kind of gathered from last year's concept trailer. The art style coming back, the big wide open worlds, the kind of spiritual reboot in nature. I got all that.
And okay, we should be back. Go ahead. That went way longer than I thought it was going to go. I suspected that the stream was going to drop 30 minutes ago, and we lasted an hour. Continue.
Nice.
What was last heard from me?
Something about
So
Halo.
yeah, Halo looks...
It doesn't look like I cut out at all.
Oh wow, awesome, sweet, okay. And then
So did we
it
just
was
say stop for no reason?
listen? I don't. So there are 2 types of cutouts that I've been experiencing.
Stop.
That last about a second and are just long enough to cut the stream, and there are some that last about a minute. So I have to assume every one of them will be the minute. So I'm sorry.
Stop.
Dang.
Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention.
Who?
Cold? Is
Yeah.
the invention cold? Because
Wow, you
ice.
guys
Okay,
suck.
continue. I'm
Anyway.
sorry.
No, man,
Hold up, Diggy. I'm not Envy. So you better take
Oh
that.
no!
Yeah, that's right.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no!
Yeah, that's right. Get this
Invin-
man off my ship. Anyway.
Tenebrae Inventus.
How are our voices
Anyway,
merging?
It was a cool trailer, but I wanted gameplay. Here's the thing about Halo.
Yeah.
Anyone that knows half a thing about Halo knows that the last 7 years of Halo have been plagued with a descent into mediocrity. The story has been divisive. The art style has been divisive. The gameplay changes have been divisive. Armor abilities, sprint, weapon
What's
sandbox.
devices mean?
It means people are divided as to whether it's good or not in the community.
Okay.
The weapons have been divisive. The playlists, multiplayer offerings, scope, graphics, frames per second, and most importantly, the story. Especially after Halo 5. People are in heavy doubt as to whether a good story can be delivered after Halo 5's god-awful Hitler Cortana ending.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. with good reason, the Halo games have been super subject to debate. So, with Halo 4, it was Theory 43's very first take on the franchise, and that game was already a little bit divisive. It was like it played similarly to Reach, but they also added some weird stuff, and there were balance issues. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think most of us could agree Halo 4 was still a pretty fun game to play.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
hype around it, and the
It was
story
awkward.
was all right. I personally
I think the
thought it
story
was
was alright.
okay. It wasn't up to par with the other games.
I really
played,
liked
but
its
it was-
emotional beats. I feel like it would have been
Yeah, I
stronger if the
appreciated
didactic was
the-
better.
I appreciated the direction that they tried to take it in, and I was interested to see where it went. The
And
gameplay
then Halo
itself-
5 happened.
Yeah, Halo 5 happened. That's where everything. No. Sorry, not Halo 5. We're jumping a bit too far ahead. MCC happened.
Oh, yeah.
That's where
Because
Halo 4, while there were people that didn't like it, it wasn't like a generally disliked game. There were still a lot of people that enjoyed it and wanted to see more from 343. So when 343 announced, hey, we're going to bring back all of the games for Xbox One and whatnot, people were super stoked. They're like, oh, 343 is redeeming themselves. They truly care. They're doing something great for the fans, and it's going to be awesome. And then the game comes out, and none of it works.
yeah, it's broken on release.
It's broken, and 343 is like, we're going to try and fix it. And it's been however many years since MCC came out, and it's still broken.
It's not
So
broken.
that left
It's
a big-
It's perfect now.
Is it really perfect?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually good to hear. I'm actually relieved to hear that. So
Yeah.
they just barely fixed it. Then
After
Right.
a billion years. Yeah, after 4 years of development.
yeah, for 4 years this game's been broken. It works now apparently. Well, no, that makes sense because I did play it recently. I didn't notice anything wrong with it. So
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, Halo 5 comes out, and people are like, it's gonna be kind of weird. 343 had so many problems with MCC. What if the launch of Halo 5 isn't gonna be good? They did their beta. They got to show
Great.
people what the game was gonna be like. Beta was all right. It was pretty well received mostly, and then the game actually came out, and people were disappointed.
We were sick of it by the first night. We played it for 2 hours when it came out at midnight, and we're boiling over with rage. We were about to just stop playing.
Dude,
I'm
what-
not
that first
exaggerating.
night, we all dove into the campaign first,
Yeah, that was alright.
and
Yeah, I
we
remember
played a little bit of the
listening to you guys.
campaign, and it was fun. It's a fun game to play when you have friends, that's for sure.
Mhm.
What's that like?
and-
Continue.
Oh.
Like the campaign was designed well enough from a gameplay standpoint to kind of hold you in and let you have some fun, but the story was really
Horrific.
shallow.
Bad.
Yeah, it was so bad, and we
It
learned
was
that the more we played it.
bad.
But what really got me about Halo 5 was the part about the Halo games that usually keeps me playing, the multiplayer aspect. Now, when Reach came out, there was however many different playlists, There might not have been that much. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I do remember when Reach came out, there's a variety of playlists that,
There was.
featuring all these different game types.
It was
There's a lot
over
of different
10,
things you could
to
do
be
with
sure.
it. Over
Yeah,
10?
like Rumble Pit, Team Slayer, like
Big
Team
battle,
Objectives.
invasion, zombies.
Yeah, there's
Zombies.
Invasion, Capture the Flag. I think they had Action Sack. I want to say they had.
I believe so. And then SWAT
which was
Arena
like all the
and
party
MLB.
games and stuff. So Reach, there was a lot of ways you could have fun. It wasn't just about killing each other. You could either play with an objective, you could play party games. There's a lot of stuff to it. Halo 4 kind of had this similar thing, albeit it had less playlists, but
Halo
they
5
did.
launched with 4.
Oh, really? Only
Yes.
4?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty bad. But over time, I do remember they did add a lot more. And is that where they started circulating or rotating playlists? Do you remember?
Halo 4 launched with a pretty good amount. Yeah, I think they had like 8 or 9, and then they did have rotational playlists. Yeah. And then they just gutted that.
Oh,
and put
wait.
it for Halo 5.
So Halo 4 had 4 playlists or 8? I'm
Like
getting
8.
mixed it up.
I mentioned
Okay.
Halo 5.
Oh, sorry. So, okay, I get you. So Halo 4 launched with 8. That makes a lot more sense. Because when you said 4, I was like, what? There's no
Yeah.
way. 8 playlists, that's okay. Still had a good bit of variety. Halo 5, I remember we hopped out of the campaign and I was like, dude, I can't wait to try the multiplayer. And then I open up the multiplayer menu and there's like 5 different things. And they're not even that different. They were, there was Team Arena, which was like a mixed playlist. Between like Slayer and Capture the Flag and some other stuff. There was Team Slayer, which is basic 4-on-4, kill each other.
I just
There
went and
was
found
another-
it. I was wrong. There were 5 launch playlists for Halo 5. Team Arena, Slayer, Breakout, Free
There's
for
Breakout,
All,
which is
SWAT.
Breakout being that 4-on-4, one life type of deal, which is still Slayer. Free for All, which is still Slayer, and then SWAT, which is still Slayer. So there was no variety in these playlists. It was all the same thing, and everyone got burnt out super fast.
essentially. So,
I mean, some of us kept playing for like what, a month or so.
yeah, it was about a
And then
month.
after that, it's over. Yeah.
I think the only 2 people who saw it through to the end were Eljay and I. And by the time we finished, we were hollow shells of people. Like, I maxed out my rec inventory for some godforsaken reason that I'll never fully understand. And I
Some
hate
of the
this game with a
hallmarks of
passion.
Halo games have been the unlockables, which they completely got rid of. The ranking system, which was fun before, like in Reach, you rank up, you unlock armor as you progress. You spend credits on that, which got completely replaced with a rec system, or I guess a loot box system that you could spend money on because they want their money. So really, there was not that much incentive for you to play. There was no unlockables. There's none of that fun stuff. The Forge, was the Forge even there at launch? No, they added it later.
Yeah, that and BTB were delayed.
So there was nothing. You had like maybe 5 different playlists plus Warzone, which was, I guess, the only party-ish kind of game, but it was stupid because people could just buy whatever weapons they wanted.
Correct.
And
So
anyway, in conclusion, 343's had a rocky history with Halo. People have gotten progressively more mad at them over the years. More so with the decisions they made with their original Halo titles, to a point where Halo Infinite is it's got big shoes to fill.
when I see a Halo game announcement after the last 7 years, the thing that I need to see to convince me that this is going to be better than the last is not just, hey, the art looks really good. But even so, even for an announcement trailer, when you don't want to show all your secrets, like last year, that was acceptable. It was like, hey, the art's really good now. We've gone back to classic art direction. Have fun. It's going to be a big open world. Tune in next year for more details. This year, I expected some gameplay and a premise. So, like, a hint towards the story to show how they were going to possibly right the ship after Hitler Cortana. Instead, we got art style looks good. It's just kind of vacuous. It's kind of nothing. You need to like have some kind of concrete details too.
Yeah, they're on thin ice, man. Because
To
Halo
get people
fans,
interested.
I mean, you think we're bad.
Yeah, check on the Reddit.
Halo fans are vitriolic.
Yeah, the old grudges are hard to let go of. So all in all, it was a bit of a non-trailer. As cool as it was a good trailer. It's just it didn't tell me anything, so I can't really care
And
about
it's
it.
a big deal to us, especially because that's, Halo's the game that TTV bonded over.
Yep.
We all would still like to think that we can still have fun with this game, but every time they do dumb stuff like this, it just kind of
It ruins
bites
it
us
tab.
real hard. Yep.
So we're gonna move on from Microsoft now because we've gone on way too long. I question whether we can even talk about much of the other stuff. So we're gonna do kind of a. How long do you have left till you gotta leave?
I've got like 15 minutes.
Got it. All right.
Take your time though. Like I'll just have to like step out.
That's fine.
Take
We're
a
gonna.
break from talking.
You're fine, man. We're gonna do a Bethesda speed run because out of everything that Bethesda showed, only one thing really interested anybody. Here's the thing: is they did show Lightning Round. They opened Bethesda and they were like, "Okay, so everyone hates us now. Everyone hates our guts because of Fallout 76. We're an internet meme. We're like one of the worst developers in people's eyes. What can we possibly do to redeem ourselves at the start of the E3 conference?" So obviously the answer to that is Battle Royale. Just what people want. Fallout 76 Battle Royale. I'm sold.
And the
I'll
worst
freaking
part
play.
is that because there is nothing else to do in Fallout 76, people will play it.
People will play it. I mean, it might be good. It might be perfectly fine.
Wow,
but it's
that
Battle
will change
Royale.
though.
Yeah,
It'll be good. It'll be really good.
It's like it's freaking Battle Royale. It's not in this derivative like schlock of a game. I don't think that's exactly what's gonna hook people back. They added back in human NPCs, but they get no credit for that because they weren't there to start with. That's an old feature that they removed and then have put back in because they realized that without it, you don't have a Fallout game. So now human NPCs are back. Hooray. They did show another game called Deathloop, which looked pretty neat. They had Wolfenstein, if you're into that.
Yeah.
More Elder Scrolls Online garbage, if you're into that. Like 5 mobile games, if you're into that, including a Commander Keen game, which is apparently an old beloved franchise
It is.
from a completely different genre, which is being reimagined into a mobile game. So that's great. That's just great. Then we have the only game of worth at the show. Oh no, I guess Doom was pretty good. Doom had a pretty good gameplay demo. That did look pretty solid. I just feel like it went on too long because there's Doom. It's Doom. You know what that is. At this point, you don't need to spend 20 minutes on Doom. But either way, the only new announcement they had that was really cool was a game called Ghostwire Tokyo, presented by like one of the most charismatic people who's become like beloved by the internet. I don't know her name off the top of my head.
That lady that's like spooky.
Yeah, spooky.
Cool.
It's developed by Tango Gameworks, who I believe made The Evil Within. So I believe that's the company that made that.
At the very least, there are 2 people working there. Because it takes 2
At
to
least.
tango.
But
Oh my god.
Wow, you're so clever.
I mean, honestly,
Man, I
it's just
hate this guy.
Oh, by the way, the gal's name was Ikumi Nakamura.
There you go.
Thank you.
It was one of the best trailers from like all of E3 for me. It showed just like this world and everyone gets snapped away and they disappear. Their clothes just kind of fall on the ground. People start vanishing, and there's this like occult influence that starts creeping up. And I think it's all about this one guy who looked like friggin' Ronin from Endgame, having to fight against these malevolent forces. But it just has a really unique art direction.
Wait,
And I really
Blue
dig
Ronin
it.
or Hawkeye Ronin?
Hawkeye Ronin.
Hawkeye Ronin.
He had the edgy hood and the bow, and the environment looked exactly the same. So I mean, I'm totally down for what they're offering. It looked very impressive. So otherwise, there really wasn't anything from Bethesda that gripped me. I don't know about you guys, but I actually fell asleep
I
3
didn't
times.
watch Bethesda, so I've got nothing.
No.
I'm not even memeing. I fell asleep 3 times. I
They
remember one
didn't show off
time.
anything about Elder Scrolls 6?
No.
Okay, then yeah, I definitely don't care.
I think the funniest thing that happened was when they kept having these like interludes of the developers. I remember, I think you mentioned this, Eljay, how like it bugged you, where they would have them up and just kind of talk to the screen to try to make them seem like real people.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like-
So it was those interspliced during all the presentations. Do you guys know those commercials where it's like I love to play games,
Oh,
love
yeah.
to play games, love to play games. It was
That
kind of
is
like
so accurate. It's
It-
scary.
it was kind of like that,
Oh.
but with just like a bunch of random people. It's like I remember when I first started playing Bethesda games. It was Elder Scrolls 6 Skyrim, like everyone else. I remember when I played a game, I was knee-high to a grasshopper, and that's when I killed my first child in a virtual game. And they wanted to really try and humanize the conference and be like, if these people are charismatic enough, they're going to forget about Fallout 76 until we mention
Exactly what it was.
Battle Royale. And it was just really annoying because I don't like those commercials. Because they feel fake.
Yeah, they're very sure.
Not only commercials, they're like campaigns or advertisements or stuff that are like, get behind this. Like, I believe. And it feels fake. It doesn't feel genuine. And I guess that makes a lot of sense coming from a company like Bethesda. And it really bothered me.
Yeah, it was fake humanization. And it irritated
Yeah,
me
it was
the whole way they do it.
fake news.
So over charismatic audience members cheering, fake like developer splicing, Fallout 76 Battle Royale and reverting on their core like change, no human NPCs, like 5 different mobile games, Elder Scrolls Online schlock, no updates on Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield, and like 1 new announcement that was pretty interesting. So all in all, they were the worst one by far.
Yeah.
It was like EA levels of bad. So, moving right along from them to Ubisoft.
I didn't watch Ubisoft either, so. Rip.
Yeah, Ubisoft was pretty good. It was very similar to Microsoft in that there was a lot of cool stuff, but very few like new announcements that were interesting. But they did have a few of them, like Watch Dogs Legion. The Watch Dogs game set in the UK in a post-Brexit apocalyptic world.
Post-Brexit world where milkshakes are outlawed.
I did see that trailer. It looked awesome.
It really
I
did.
gotta say. I'm really interested.
The grandma is the best.
Can't wait to play the grandma.
Dude, seriously,
with
that
milkshakes
grandma
or
like
something.
knocking people out was
The
awesome.
picture of the chat.
Did I show you the video of... Did I ever show you the video of that grandma like beating up some dual robbers?
I don't think you did. I want to see this now.
Oh man, it's great. All right,
Yeah.
continue.
So the game's gimmick is you can take control of supposedly any NPC to recruit them into your cause of forming the, I guess, resistance against something. I don't know what the antagonistic force is supposed to
Well,
be. Some
it's
kind of
the
military
antagonistic-
presence in London.
The antagonistic force is the government. Because they talk about it
Okay.
in the trailer. It's there's a lot of heavy surveillance. All of the people that you're against are government forces. So, and
Got it.
because it's so centric around Brexit, which is a governmental issue, that I would assume, based on what they showed, that is the antagonist.
Fair enough. So, you can supposedly recruit anyone, and they're all fully voice acted and like mocapped and whatever. Whether that ends up being true or not, I don't know. There might be some limitations. Even if there are limitations, that's a pretty impressive gameplay mechanic because it's woven in naturally, supposedly. Like in the trailer, this dude died, and his death was addressed, and his mission that he was working on was carried out by someone else. And you gotta wonder if he could have survived that encounter, or if he was always destined to die in the story. I don't know. Like, if he was put into an impossible situation that he just couldn't escape from. We'll have to see, but it's a cool dynamic either way. And it definitely is the most that Watch Dogs has ever interested me. Also, I've been watching that clip while I'm talking, and wow, that's funny.
It's amazing. What a hero.
Yep. All right, so that was Watch Dogs Legion. Next up, they had Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which I can't be excited for on principle.
Starring the Punisher.
It's a Ghost Recon game, but John Bernthal.
Meso!
Oh, that's the thing that John Bernthal came out for?
Yeah,
So-
Ghost Recon?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You can
He's the
tell
main
how
villain, I'm not sure.
you can tell how invested we are in the game because the picture I'm using isn't of the game. It's John Bernthal with his dog on stage.
We love
The
John
Ubi dog.
Bernthal.
Oh, Ghost Recon!
I wasn't used to hearing him talk like calmly when he came out on stage.
Yeah, he was so cute. He was like, "Hey guys, I'm happy to be here." I'm like, "Oh."
Real quick,
so
is
he
that
was screaming.
for this conference? They had 2 celebrities on stage, right? It was John Bernthal
Yes,
and
the
someone
Always
else.
Sunny guy.
Oh,
Talking about his-
yeah, I don't remember his
Phweff.
name.
From Always Sunny.
Yeah. So I made comment during this when we had both of the actors on stage at different times. How ticked off do you think Ubisoft would have had to have been after the Microsoft conference? Like they have two major actors. They have John Bernthal and the guy who plays that guy from that one show that's very popular that I haven't seen. And they're like, all right, yeah, everyone's going to love this E3. John Bernthal's got a dog. We have this other actor, super popular. It's going to be great. And then Microsoft comes out with freaking Keanu Reeves, and they just lose all of their steam. Like, all that momentum that they thought they had, and it's gone.
It was really funny. I won't lie. It was really funny. But it was still cool. I like that actors are making their way into video games. It's neat. It's kind of like bridging mediums.
They've been in video games. World at War featured Kiefer Sutherland, who's the very popular actor from the show 24, as one of the main characters in that game. Actors have been a part of games for ages. The difference is now they're just not even going the extra mile of creating a new character that they voice. They're just copy and pasting the actors into games. That's the difference. And I'm not sure I'm big on that.
I mean, I like it, as long as it's not overdone.
It's... okay. 3 games this year / next year that are going to have actors copy and pasted into games. You have John Bernthal, you have Keanu Reeves, and you have Norman Reedus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Death Stranding.
Actually, Death Stranding's even worse. It has 2. It has Norman Reedus, and it has that
Matt
other guy
Mikkelsen.
from Doctor Strange. Yeah, Matt.
It also has Guillermo del Toro.
You're right. I don't know. I'm not.
Oh yeah.
It's a straight up Hollywood movie.
I feel like it takes away from the creativity of having these very well-known actors that are voicing characters they don't look like. Like, at what point do you have a game that's just a movie?
I mean, Metal, if anyone's going to do that, it's
I can
Kojima.
forgive it with
fair
Death
enough.
Stranding because Kojima's always been like a big movie buff.
That's
People
fair.
criticize like Metal Gear Solid for being more movie than
He's always wanted to be like a Hollywood director, but gaming's like his forte, so he tries to do both. I don't know about all these other people. I don't know what the heck Ghost Recon's doing. I can't even blame Tom Clancy because he's dead now, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
I
don't know.
Yeah. They showed off the expansions for The Division 2, which looked very impressive. That game has gotten rave reviews and is apparently in the prime of its life, and it makes me kind of annoyed that I didn't pick it up when it launched, but oh well. I'll wait for the DLC to come out and just play it one day when it's complete. They're leaving Washington, D.C. and having a lot of bold new environments, so that's good for that game. They announced a new game called Roller Champions, which VAR described quite well. It's like Lucio Ball meets Quidditch. And they had a really cool trailer for it. They came out, and literally my response to the trailer was, this is really great, but like I hate this trend of like CG trailers with no gameplay. And the guy was literally like, so I know what you're probably thinking. Show me gameplay. I want to see gameplay. And he was like, well, the demo's live right now. Go download it. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's awesome. That's how I wish everybody would do it.
Dude, I know, right? What?
I haven't played it yet. I don't know if VAR has. but apparently
I
it's
don't
pretty
think
fun.
so.
They announced a new Rainbow Six game with friggin' zombies. Rainbow Six Quarantine. I'm not down for that. Everyone wants a new Splinter Cell, so of course Ubisoft's response is put Sam Fisher in a mobile game crossover with all the other Ubisoft characters. Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. So that's a thing that exists. And then finally a new franchise from the people who made Assassin's Creed Odyssey that goes by the name of Gods and Monsters. And they did not show any gameplay for it, just a cinematic. But hey, you know what? New franchise, cool looking art style, like mythological gods and monsters and deities. I'm totally down, 100%. That was really cool. I just wish they'd showed more about it. And then For Honor DLC, Adventure Time crossover, Brawlhalla, Just Dance, a lot of like minor things, but nothing else really major. Oh no, Phweff left without a goodbye. Rip.
Yeah, we were talking
you
about
kept
it.
talking.
You wouldn't stop talking and pay attention to the chat.
What chat?
Oh, bye, Phweff.
Serious business! The chat where we say
Oh.
these things.
I mean, you're right. I'm looking at the freaking Patreon chat where the fans are.
Oh,
I'm
come
not
on,
gonna
dude.
stop to look at our chat.
Yes.
She could have posted in the Patreon chat.
Oh my gosh. I look at that chat, I look at the Patreon chat, I look at the Serious Business chat, and I'm looking at the YouTube live chat. You have no and I'm
I
running
only
the
look
stream.
at this
You have
chat.
no excuses.
I mean, I'm also kind of leading the conversation, so I think it's more
None.
important.
Anyway.
Ah. Yeah, man. I don't know. So you guys just whatever. That's Ubisoft. Of notable exclusions, they did not announce a new Assassin's Creed. They did not show anything from Beyond Good and Evil 2. They did not show anything from Skull and Bones. So that's kind of why it felt hollow. A lot of their stuff is currently in development and just wasn't shown. But it's whatever. It's whatever. Overall, I was very whelmed. There wasn't too much of interest shown, but there also weren't many bad announcements. What do you guys think? Someone else speak.
I was whelmed.
Yeah, pretty whelmed. I mean, most of the games that were shown at E3 I'm not going to play, and I have zero interest in. It's very difficult to get me interested in games nowadays. So,
Fair.
Yeah, but that's because you're like a booty butt, and nobody else is. So I don't know.
Oh my god.
that's like saying I'm a
Thanks,
human
man.
person. I don't...
I did not say anything like that at all.
No,
said
I mean,
you're
it's like
a
saying one thing and then
butt.
another. It's like, it's two synonyms. Why would you say that? Okay.
It's two synonyms. Do you even know what a synonym is?
Yeah, it's
Syllable.
a spice.
It's the thing that you put. Have you ever had synonym toast crunch?
Wow.
Yeah, just like Grandma used to make.
Nice.
So, Square Enix.
Yes.
Oh
Enix.
yeah, that's right. Square
Enix, otherwise known as Weeb Supreme.
Weeb Supreme.
So here's what Weeb Supreme showed. A bunch of freaking generic stuff. But that's not to say there wasn't some quality shown there as well.
If I have to see one more freaking Dragon Quest trailer, I'm gonna riot.
Okay, so here's what they showed. They showed like what felt like a 10-minute trailer for Dragon Quest Builders 2, which was Dragon's Quest Minecraft, I guess.
That's kind of weird.
Prpl.
I don't really know.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said that, I was super tempted to start playing audio from one of the Dragon Quest trailers, but I don't want to.
Don't you
I
ever do that. You will get decked at Brick Fair.
What do you hate, Dragon Quest?
I do now.
I didn't want to get copyrighted, but this is a better reason.
Just do it.
No,
Do
I'm
it.
not. I'm not. I have
Okay,
restraint, Meso.
There was a lot of oversaturation. Like, just to put it into perspective, in the realm of Final Fantasy, they obviously talked about the 7 remake, which we will get into, but they also had Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition, Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, the Final Fantasy soundtrack app, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. And it's just like, stop! Stop with the Final Fantasy, stop! It's too much! It's too much. But they did have the 7 remake, which was probably the best thing they showed off. Not knowing anything about 7.
Obviously. Yeah, I don't know anything about 7 either.
I will be playing it. 100% I will.
I'll only be playing it if I can like afford it, and it's for something that I own. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired of
PC
hearing
on
about
there.
Final Fantasy VII. I feel like every year somebody mentions it. I'm just like, okay, I'm tired. I
I
don't.
think it's because
buy
they've
it
been they
anymore.
announced their remake like 3 years ago. I think that's what it is. I did love
That's
seeing the
probably what
internet.
it is.
I love seeing the internet just lose their collective minds over Tifa, though. That was
yeah,
very
that was
entertaining.
great.
That was very entertaining. So the game.
What happened to Tifa?
No,
She
people were just
exists.
like, she exists, ergo the internet will lose their minds.
Oh,
That is why. Like, there were chants in the crowd, like, when do we see Tifa? Where's Tifa? And then they finally showed her, and people freaked out.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with the game.
Oh no.
Here's the problem. And that is, it is... how to put it? It's split up. So the first game in this collection of remakes, which is how they're doing it, it's multiple games in a series, not one game, will feature Midgar. Midgard. Actually, no, I think it's just Midgar. Not knowing anything about the game, I don't know what that location is. But all I know is that it apparently only makes up 5 to 10% of the full game of Final Fantasy VII. So the implication behind that is that they're taking this very small, select portion of this game and then stretching it out enough to cover essentially the length of a $60 game. And they're going to do the same for the rest of Final Fantasy VII. So if you go by current math, it's quite possible there could be 10 parts for $60 each. Now, that might not necessarily be true, because obviously in-game might, it might not be enough content to stretch out by then. But realistically, how long are we looking at for the full release of this series, and how much is it going to cost? And the answer to that question is the developers don't know, per an interview. They have no clue how long this is going to take, or how many games are going to be in the series, or whatever. Like, it's not just like an upscaling. They're essentially remaking the game and are like, how much money can we milk out of the Final Fantasy VII name? And
I'm gonna like only play that first part because it's all I'll be able to afford.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, listen, it makes sense to want to take this opportunity to flesh it out, and if they felt like they could do a lot more, expansion's cool. Just have a plan so people know what they're getting into. You're expecting people to commit to something that could literally be going on for over 10 years. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good practice. But at that same point, that's like the only flaw with it. It looked pretty great otherwise. So yeah, Prpl, do you have any comments other than like it looks cool? Did you have any observations on it? Anything you like versus 15?
What?
Anything you like or dislike versus 15?
I mean, it's not the emo boy band road trip, but I guess it's pretty cool too.
Pretty emo looking dude.
Yeah. It looks cool. I'll probably try to play it because I don't know. I'm trying to branch into video games.
You sold your soul to Final Fantasy.
Only 15?
You need to Let's Play Brave Exvius and tell me how it is.
How about no?
Alright.
Yeah.
That was Final Fantasy at Square Enix. The other big announcement was the Avengers.
Ah, dang it. This is the part where I ran out of images. Ugh.
Rip, well done, Eljay.
Oh, don't you well done me.
So, the Avengers game it's a thing that exists. I'll try not to be too hard on it
Nah, great.
because I know Vin liked it, but
Uh,
I find it telling and a bit emblematic of how this game will actually turn out. That rather than show any gameplay at the conference, which they did have ready, they showed behind closed doors at E3, and it's already been leaked. They instead decided to talk about like the business model and how it's going to be a games as a service title with a story that will last for years and frequent DLC drops.
That's actually kind of weird to me. I will say that.
What it shows is that they knew that if they didn't address it, that would be like a controversy bomb waiting to happen. So they needed to get it out before anything, so people could like check their expectations.
Now that sucks because I honestly thought it was just gonna be a straightforward campaign game, where yes, you can play with co-op, but I guess we can't have that nowadays. There's always got to be some sort of lengthy. How can we make more money off of this?
That's all it is. It's like an ongoing kind of service that they're going to support through microtransaction skin packs, probably. Now, there is some decent news, because they have elaborated since, and they revealed that the game's split into two halves. There's campaign missions and multiplayer missions. The two are not the same thing, which I find interesting.
That's weird.
There's a campaign that you play by yourself with no co-op. And
What?
then you have
Okay.
side multiplayer missions that will tell their own story and weave into the campaign that you can play with other people. When the campaign ends, those multiplayer missions will become the main focus of the game. But there is a story.
Weird.
If you're into that. The reason they gave was that you switch heroes in the story. So like you'll be playing as one hero, and then the story will dictate you switch to someone else because something happens to that hero. And that couldn't really work in a co-op setting, which I get.
Well, in that case, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know if I like it. Seems kind of sketchy, but yeah, I don't know.
The main point of contention is the character designs. Some people like hate them, and some people think they're fine. I think you're one of the people.
I honestly, I feel like the characters have had uglier designs. I think these are fine. But whatever.
They look like they look like the friggin' MCU stunt doubles, and it's funny.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Like they have these like funny nicknames, like SWAT, Captain SWAT, I think his name is.
Or no, I saw something funny. It was like Lieutenant America or something, and then Steel Man and Gray Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bulk.
The
The
bulk.
Bulk. No, I gotta say this though. I think the Hulk looks really good.
I agree. It's fun.
The Hulk is one of those things where I was watching the trailer, I was like, wow, that actually looks straight out of the movie. Same with Iron Man's suit. The character design, but as for the human faces and everything, those it could be better. But
Black Widow and Thor are very bad.
Black Widow got done so dirty.
I think Cap is fine.
She's a man, baby.
Cap is all right. It's definitely not as good as the movie, but like that's not terrible. It's just a different
that looks
take.
good. Yeah,
Like the helmet is
he
fine.
looks better with the helmet on.
That's a long link. Sorry.
I like the SWAT design though. I think that's a very unique take on the suit.
I also find I'm annoyed. Like one of the villains they showed, they confirmed was Taskmaster.
Oh,
And
interesting.
He looks horrible.
Does he really?
He looks very like
they
desaturated his colors.
Dude, why is he exposing his arm? I don't like it.
Well,
It's like showing off his biceps.
Yeah. So it's whatever. But all in all, like it's tough to comment because they didn't show gameplay. But it's going to be an RPG-esque game where you can customize skill trees and get items with properties and build your character, etc., etc. Could be fun. Could be trash. Hard to see. People revile games as a service as a model on concept alone, but I think it solely depends on content. Like I already pointed out how, like, to me, Overwatch is one of the not so good examples of how to do it. But that's a matter of opinion. Anthem is it's easily the worst example of how to do it. where you release a roadmap for post-launch content and then just don't deliver any of it because you just couldn't meet your game. Like, they still haven't followed up on their roadmap plans. Anthem just gave up. I think one of the best,
super dead, dude.
one of the best examples, love it or hate it, is Destiny, because they tell you what you're gonna get, and if you're into it, you buy it. If you're not, you don't. And there's rarely any duplicity involved in content. I think with this kind of a model, transparency is the key. Now, Avengers has a leg up on games like Destiny because it is free DLC, but that also creates more fears. Like Halo 5, for instance, had free DLC, and they gave their money through Warzone loot boxes. But Halo 5's plan was like, all right, so every month you'll get a new map or whatever. And it quickly became apparent they weren't new maps. They took like assets from other maps and like changed them around or changed the color palette or flipped them slightly and then like released it.
Unforgivable.
That was like their lazy way to do it. So that's the risk you run. It's a tightrope. It's a case by case. There are examples of gas, as people call it, done right, and there's examples of it done very wrong. But I'm willing to give Avengers a fair shot before condemning it on principle alone, at least in that aspect. So honestly, that's Square Enix. If anyone has any final thoughts, now's your time.
I've got nothing.
I
think the Avengers trailer looks alright. I'm interested to try it out. Gameplay details are a little weird, but yeah, it's whatever. I'm open to it.
Fair enough.
Everything else I'm not interested in.
All right. Then let's talk about the last one, fellas. Nintendo!
Woo! Nintendo!
So, I'm really mixed on this year's Nintendo. They had some good stuff. I feel like everyone's saying like Nintendo won.
Honestly, they did have some of the
Nintendo
best
had Animal
stuff.
Crossing, so
They had Animal Crossing. They had the Pokemon. They had the Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, look,
I'm actually super hyped for.
Animal Crossing was already announced. Gameplay from it is good, but it's Animal Crossing. Legend of Zelda
That's
Breath of the
supposed to be
Wild 2. Breath of the Wild 2 is cool, but they've announced it way too early if they don't even have a title for it.
Why did you
Luigi's Mansion
bold
3 is a
it?
good announcement. Because it's a big deal. Like, that's the biggest thing from their
Yeah,
conference.
but that requires me to get a picture. If that's all you had to say about it, why do I...
No, we can talk about it more. I'm just making the point. Like, they didn't really have anything.
Oh yeah, and Breath of the Wild 2. Can't forget about that.
I'll kill you.
Yeah. That we didn't already know.
Alright, well,
Like the smack.
let's get
There were
Animal Crossing out of the way, because I have that picture up right now anyway.
Okay, yeah. Phweff was like the most into Animal Crossing, except for maybe Prpl. So Prpl, you discuss. What did it mean to you?
I'm not into Animal Crossing. I just know people like it.
Okay, fair.
Like, it's
Wow.
cute, but honestly, the Animal Crossing games stress me out so much because I care like way too much about the feelings of these non-existent characters.
Oh, what a loser!
Dude, okay, there's also a thing
That is
where
pretty
you
funny.
have to like pick weeds to make sure your town doesn't get like gross and people move away, and it was so stressful because the weeds just kept coming over and over. Like, you'd pick all the weeds, and then there'd be more like an hour later. What the heck? No weed killers in these games. But
Can we get Prpl Animal Crossing? Let's
Okay,
play.
yeah, we have to do it now. Yeah,
For
we're
Prpl
gonna
and
do
Phweff.
that.
Prpl and Phweff, let's play.
Dude, yes. Is there co-op in the new one? There better be.
how do you
That would
even
be
like
awesome.
record it?
There is.
Yeah, that's
Very
my
carefully.
question. Well, okay, I mean, if you have a
Just
capture
get
card...
another graphics card or something.
If you have
or
a capture card, you'd be
capture
able to
card,
do it.
yeah.
A what?
Capture card. Little thing. It's a little recording device, like a DVR.
Yeah.
A what?
Oh my god. It's
Wow.
a little recording device. We'll just say that. That's it. It captures
It's-
whatever you plug into it.
We'll
Yeah.
teach you afterwards.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Nino
we'll teach you.
Indito.
It sounds-
We used to
sounds
use
like
it back
you
in the
have
day
good
for Winter
charisma.
Solstice.
All right. So that's a thing. Animal Crossing exists, and apparently people are excited about it. So that's good.
I'm kind of excited. I've never played an Animal Crossing game, but I figured you know, this one looks kind of neat. I think I'll
Luigi's
give it a
Mansion
shot.
3, you're very excited about.
I'm super excited for that, dude. I grew up with Luigi's Mansion. I played through that game like 3 or 4 times, and I would be willing to play it again. I don't know why. I really like it.
I have never played.
I think that's a cardinal sin that you have not played it, Meso. You of all people.
I played some Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and I saw EGAD. That counts.
I
know,
no,
yeah.
it doesn't. You have to experience the freaking game, so we're gonna play it at some point.
Where's
That way you can appreciate Luigi's Mansion 3.
when can Luigi be in Smash? I'm very invested in this.
I thought Luigi was pretty interesting. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I just love that Luigi can like beat the crap out of all these ghosts now. Like
Same.
he can pull them. He could like pull a Hulk and Loki type of deal with them. It's great.
Oh yeah. Then we had what honestly sounded like a meme game to me. This sounds fake, even when I'm saying it now. The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics. Like, do people get what I mean? It's like you've smashed 3 different kinds of games together into one, and I'm really not even sure what it is specifically, but it sounds fake to me. But either way, that's a thing that's coming out. Next up, we have The Witcher 3 coming to Switch.
Switcher.
That's a really good announcement. Switcher 3.
That's actually pretty crazy. I bet it's gonna run really bad though.
Oh yeah. Probably gonna run like trash. No More Heroes 3. If people like that, if people care about that, that's a thing.
That's
that
pretty
came
cool. I've heard it's a good game.
Oh boy, it's like it's been one of my low key favorites for years. Daemon Ex Machina.
Oh, kill me.
This game is just like complete chaos. Every time I want to laugh, I just go back and rewatch the announcement trailer. I was like, yes, I can't believe 1 year Nintendo actually opened an E3 with this game. But it's gonna be good, I think. It's just a really like insane mech game with a really cool art style. Just high octane action and nothing but. I'm pretty impressed by it. Someone's having a good time. Laughter in the background.
Oh yeah, Sam's watching something.
I'll
Amazing.
tell her to
I
shut
don't
up.
watch
No, I'm
podcasts.
kidding.
I don't watch our podcast.
She's probably watching our podcast right now.
And she's not. Okay.
The mech game was Daemon Ex Machina.
Daemon Ex Machina.
It
I
looks
hear
crazy.
that.
And then there's Breath of the Wild 2. Which
Now that was a surprise. I don't think we've gotten a direct sequel to a Zelda game since what was it? The Ocarina of Time, I guess.
fair enough.
Real quick. So, I have yet to finish Breath of the Wild. I have it. I have a Switch. I have the game. I've started it. I have not finished it. But I know what most of the characters look like. And in this game, they're giving Zelda a new haircut. And so this is the picture that
Yes.
This is the picture I'm using for the stream right now. And I kid you not, if it weren't for the ears, I would not have been able to figure out which one was Zelda and which one was Link. I just, unless it was for Link's ears, you couldn't pay me enough to guess accurately. But that aside, looks like a sequel.
It's cool that it's getting a sequel. It looked very dark trailer. The edginess arises.
Spooky.
Yeah, people, Zelda fans are getting like Majora's Mask vibes off of it. And you know, zombie Ganon being thrown into the mix. That's always neat. I don't know. I feel like it seems like from what I can tell, this game is gonna be more story oriented, which would be cool. There's not a lot of story in Breath of the Wild, unfortunately. So this would be a nice change.
Feels bad. Well,
I mean, it was a fine game as it was. I think, really, Breath of the Wild was there to kind of sell you on the direction they're taking the series, and then the sequel's going to be like the hard hitter. You know, the Empire Strikes Back
Yeah,
type of thing that we need.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for it. I'll give it a shot to be sure. The last thing, and I guess the first thing too, they announced 2 different Smash DLC characters. One is Dragon Quest guy, so shout out Prpl, just for you.
Die.
Secondarily, they announced Banjo-Kazooie, which I really wish I could care about as much as other people on the internet.
I
seem
know,
to.
right? Like, I was so whelmed by that. Like, I've never played Banjo-Kazooie.
I wish I could
so-
share the hype, the white hot hype that people have for Banjo. I just can't.
I wish I could feel that hype. That's how I felt with the last couple of announcements. Like, what was it the guy from Persona, Joker? I was whelmed. I was like, I don't really know. I don't care. He's not Rayman. He's not Spyro. He's not Crash.
Yeah.
Same thing here. I'm just like, oh, it's Banjo and Kazooie, I guess. It's not Rayman. It's not Spyro. It's not Crash.
Give me Master Chief and Smash, you freaking cowards. It's about time.
Excuse me? Master Chief? Steve. From Minecraft. Thank you.
That was another popular candidate. Minecraft Steve. So yeah, those are the announcements. Now the last thing.
What do you mean
isn't
the
really
last
an
thing?
E3 announcement. What do you mean last thing?
Oh, I'm worried about. I need pictures for things, but you didn't.
Just get a Pokemon picture.
Oh, come on!
Just get a sword. And
Okay,
shield
you know what?
picture up.
You know what? Fine, I will get a Pokemon picture. Continue.
Alright, so the big controversy that's come out around.
No, he put a
E3.
Digimon picture.
You said it right before I did it.
Yep.
Dang it!
Dude, I know you.
Dang it! You were
know how
saying it
dumb
as
it
I'm
is.
dragging the photo over to the next plate. No. Okay, I'll get the short.
So Ben, have you heard about the controversy for this?
I have. It's kind of disappointing. I
So
gotta say.
in short, summarization for the audience: only the Pokemon in the Galar Pokedex, which is the new region, can be transferred to Sword and Shield from Pokemon Home, which is their transfer service.
Yeah.
Other Pokemon cannot be. What this does, in effect, is it locks out like most of the Pokemon roster.
Yeah. So there's like over 800 Pokemon by this point. Not all of it is gonna be there. There's probably gonna be only 300 of that.
Yeah, it's going to be the Galar Pokedex, and then whatever they bring in from the older games.
Yeah.
I
And
think
if this,
somewhere...
if the new region, if the older games are anything to go by in terms of how many new Pokemon they're going to incorporate, there's a good majority of the Pokemon we're going to see in the game are just going to be new, and we're maybe only going to see 100 to 200 of the older Pokemon in the game.
Leo in
which
the chat,
is
you would know this. Did they
kind of terrible.
say anything about the Kanto Pokemon? Because I heard a rumor that like all of the original 151 will be brought in, but I doubt that.
Of course.
I don't know if that's true or not. So I just want to fact check that. Leo says that's what I've heard. Oh god.
Yeah, that's that sucks.
And the reason that they're giving is because of, number one, balance, they say. Number two, having to remodel the Pokemon and port them in.
Oh,
like-
too much work. Oh.
I don't, on the one hand, I get it. Because you want to be able to use the new stuff. On the other hand, it's Pokemon. It's not gotta catch 'em some. It's gotta catch 'em all.
Gotta catch them all.
It's a collection game. You build your roster and you bring it over the franchise. That's the appeal. That's the freaking premise. That's the whole point why you would want to play it. If you can't do that, my desire to play it goes down exponentially past what it already is. And I feel like it's a disservice to people who have stuck with it all this time, who build up your legacy. I would have actually been fine with it if they didn't have any Pokemon. If it was literally all new Pokemon, you know what I mean? No old ones. Because then it would act almost like a reboot or a standalone game. But if they have some, but not all, then you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, and that just doesn't work. I'm not into that one bit. So on the whole, people are very upset about this. There's mass backlash, and their response is not, "Oh hey, we'll change this." Their response is, "Yeah, this is going to be how it is going forward. This will be planned for subsequent titles." I forget where they said that. I think it was on a stream or an interview, but it has definitely been said. So this is Pokemon now. They've hit to the point where there's so many they just can't model them in. This is a sacrifice for
really
art style. You want your 3D? This is its cost. You want your Pokemon on Switch?
Well, I mean, you guys pulled it off on the 3DS, so I don't understand what the limitation is here, aside from you introducing 100 or 200 new Pokemon for whatever reason. Nobody asked for another generation of Pokemon. Everybody knows there's already been too many. Just give us what you gave us on the 3DS, but put it onto the Switch with the same scope that you're giving us now, with the open world, with the console graphics and all these extra features and stuff. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to introduce all these brand new Pokemon and then force it and then make it so like we can't have the older Pokemon that we've grown to love over the years. It makes zero sense. Well, it's a big gut punch for the fan base. And
a lot of people, it's like a jumping off point. Like, it kind of kills their desire to play anymore, which I totally get, because it's about collection. You can't do that.
It definitely killed off any of my interest to play.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man, they might not have Aggron in there, LJ.
Oh no!
They might have cut out Aggron.
And it gets worse because they've also removed Mega Evolutions. And
They
also
what?
no more Megas, and they're also removing Z moves.
Oh, now I'm pissed. No. I've been so mad that they didn't even expand on that in Sun and Moon, and now they're just gonna get rid of it? They're just gonna throw it away? That's it? That's how it is, Game Freak?
So let's recap then. More than half the Pokemon snapped out of existence. Maybe more. No Megas. No Z moves.
Oh, no Megas, no Z moves. But you know what we can do? We can make the Pokemon bigger. That's what we can do.
They get
Did you guys
bigger.
see that stupid thing? Did you see that?
This is the price you pay. They get bigger.
They
I'm
get
gonna like
bigger.
this game out of spite.
Bravo. So yes, this is your future, Pokemon fans. Revel in it.
Yeah, what a fat disappointment. The first Pokemon game on the console that we've had since the GameCube days, and it's gonna be booty.
Yep.
Sorry, booty butt.
There you go. So on that depressing note, that is it for E3 2019. On the whole, as you can see through the trend of what we've covered, it's not like there wasn't quality stuff shown. The Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk and the Outer Worlds, Star Wars game looked pretty neat, Minecraft Dungeons, Borderlands, Halo, Ghostwire Tokyo, Watch Dogs, Animal Crossing, Zelda 2, but for me, the thing that was missing from this E3 was not quality games, of which there are many. It feels bad.
Okay, so the thing that it was missing was...
The thing that E3 was missing this year was surprises. The thing that this year E3 was missing was production values. Usually there are these big hype moments that make you just lose your mind or become iconic or have really cool reveals. This year, that was actors. The John Wick... I call him John Wick because of the chat. Keanu Reeves coming out on stage was the thing that made everyone lose their minds the most. That was the biggest surprise. Not games, not announcements, not spectacle. Xbox's new console fell flat because there were no details given. It was just buzzwords. Almost all the games we already knew about to some degree. Microsoft... The only new games they showed were Elden Ring, which had already been leaked into oblivion by that point, Bleeding Edge, which is a derivative hero game, and 12 minutes, which looked pretty cool, to be honest. But that's it. That's all the new games they showed that were high profile. Bethesda, what they showed that was new? Commander Keen, Deathloop. I guess it's pretty much just Ghostwire Tokyo. That was of any interest. Ubisoft showed Watch Dogs Legion, which was a cool new announcement. But again, it's a sequel. And it's a sequel everyone knew was in development by this point. The only company who really had a big surprise was Breath of the Wild 2 with Nintendo, but they announced it way too early, in my opinion. So when I kind of look at this E3, I feel very whelmed. The things I was looking forward to being shown off, like Halo, wasn't really shown off to the degree I would like for it to be.
Pokemon got ultra nerfed.
Pokemon got super nerfed. All the announcements were just for stuff we already knew about. And the conference felt smaller. As much as I riff on EA, their absence was felt. And Sony's was too. There was no trailer for The Last of Us 2 because Call of Duty has a partnership with Sony. There was no news on the Modern Warfare reboot, which people actually want to hear more about because that's kind of a big deal, rebooting Modern Warfare. If there was ever any year to kind of assuage people's concerns, it would be this one. But they missed the boat completely. And I just kind of don't have any emotions really. I'm just kind of like, yeah, it was all right. It was a show. There's plenty of good stuff shown if you're into that, but it was definitely the worst E3 for me since the years of motion controls. Back when there would just be whole conferences with just nothing going on except like 1 or 2 games. This evoked very similar vibes. But again, if you're a fan of any of those particular franchises, there'll be something for you there. That's pretty much all I got to say.
Okay. Well.
So yeah, unless
all right, so that's
unless
E3
any of you
2019,
have it,
everybody.
That's E3. It's over.
It's over. It was dumb. Let's move on.
All right.
All right.
So we're gonna
move
go
on
ahead and end
to
this
the end.
episode of the TTV Podcast.
Oh wait.
What?
My apologies. I wanted there to be a break, but I would be remiss to forget there was a super chat by Brother from Another Brick, $2. He didn't leave a message, so thank you. And
All
that's
right.
it.
Thank
You're
you
good,
very
Meso.
much. So thank you all very much for listening to this week's episode of the TTV Podcast. If you have any thoughts
Do you want the music?
on what we discussed, what?
Do you want the music?
No. If you have any thoughts on what we discussed on today's show, please
What
be
about
sure
now?
to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Yeah, there's a lot of games, a lot of publishers that were there. I'm sure someone must have been hyped about what was shown. It just wasn't me. Or anyone here, I don't think. So, every week we do a patron shout out. This week's shout out is going to go to, let's see, I want to pick someone who's been active. But everyone who's been active always gets shouted out. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just give it to someone who hasn't been active. This week goes to, hi, you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty all right.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Peel technically got shouted out. So yeah, now you're good with the music. Thank you all very much for listening to the podcast.
Oh, no, I wasn't ready.
And we'll see you all next week for the next exciting episode. I'm Meso.
I'm LJ.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Prpl.
And yeah, sorry if
I'm whelmed.
I offended anyone with my complete apathy.
Yeah, Phweff was here.
Phweff was here.
Probably,
Shout out to
deeply hurt her feelings by not letting her say goodbye to everyone who she cherished.
You say goodbye. Hey, Meso, stop for a second. I need to leave. Bye,
Meso, shut up.
See you soon.
Yo, Meso, shut up. I gotta leave.
Got it. Alright, yeah. See you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.